to create a subject variables. Yes, variable is a subject as a data type. Okay, so every S object, whether it could be account, contact, opportunity, whether it could be any standard object, or it could be any custom object, like position, candidate, student, review, whatever it may be. If it is a standard object or if it is a custom object, whatever it may be, it itself acts as a data type. So you can consider that as a data type and you can store the information. So what is a variable? Basically, variable is the one which gives you a chance to store the information during the program execution. Okay, if I give integer a equal to 5, that what is the meaning of it? What is the meaning of it is I am creating a new variable called a with the data type integer and I am storing the value 5 in it. Okay, so if I write that line in anonymous window, I am not storing anything. I am not storing anything at all. Okay, if I use account A equal to new account. Then what I am doing, I am creating a new instance of the account object. So in that case, I am creating a variable A of account data type. Okay, and if I give A dot name, A dot phone number, A dot email, so that I am giving all the details, all the field information of the account. If I give all the details, then, if I use system.debug and put A, then that account information will be displayed. But am I storing that anywhere? No. Temporarily only I am storing that in a variable. Okay. If I want to permanently store that data inside the database, then what I need to do? I need to use DML operations. DML means data manipulation language. What are the DML operations? Means Insert means inserting a new record. Okay. Update means already the record is present. You are changing some values on that. Okay, that is updation. Deletion means you don't want that record anymore in the database, so you are going to delete that record. Generally, when you delete a record, what happens? That record will be moved from that particular object to recycle bin. That is what happens when you delete a record. If I delete a position record, what happens? If I delete a new position record, sales representative, that is a position. I have all the details filled. If I delete that record, what happens? Deletion means moving the record from that specific object to recycle bin. Okay, that is soft delete. Okay, hard delete means if you delete it from the recycle bin also, then you cannot recover it back. Okay, that is hard delete. Okay, when you do the normal delete, what happens? Will it get really deleted? No, it's just changing its place. It's just moving from that specific record. If I delete account record also, position record also, account will be moving to recycle bin, position also will be moving to recycle bin. Whatever it is the record, everything will move to recycle bin. But when I revert it back, okay? When I undelete, what happens? When I undelete, again from recycle bin, it will come back to its original object. That's it. Delete, undelete meaning. Okay. So all these are what? These are DML operations. Of course, we will deal with in detail about DML operations in future classes. But for now, when you create a variable is used to temporarily store information. Okay, during the program execution. Because I am not saving my program itself. You're getting my point? But if I save my program, then inside that the variable will stay. You're getting my point? If I write a program and save it, inside that program, if I give integer a equal to 5, then every time I execute the program, I can get the same value. Okay. Here I am not saving my program itself. I am just writing one line, executing it. After that, again I am refreshing it. Nothing is there. Okay. So as I am writing my code in anonymous window, it's not storing. It's not a permanent storage. But if you write a program permanently, if you write a program and if you save the program, then that will be a permanent program. Okay, that will store. Okay, it is stored in the form of a metadata. Okay. So now let's understand our next concept. So we go to the in a subject, for example. Okay, let me give one example so you will get more clarity. Okay, if I want to create a new contact, for example, then how will I do? Contact equal to new contact. Okay, and new contact first name is equal to yes. You have to give the exact API name. As I already know, I am giving. That's why you should refer and you should copy paste. Okay. Okay. So this is the contact. Okay. So now if I do this, what happens? If I do this, what happens? I can see the contact with the first name and last name information. Okay. But will it get created in the database? Okay. If I go here, okay, if I go to the contacts tab, okay, if I go to the contacts tab, can I see the contact which I have given now? We cannot see because we have not performed any database operation. Okay. If I do this, okay, here, if I do insert con, then what happens? Then the record will be inserted into the database. Let me click on execute. Okay. Now here I am seeing the output. Debug only. I am seeing the output. Okay. Along with that, here if you see DML operations, we are seeing DML row 1 of 10,000. See, one DML operation performed, all others are 000. DML statements, one DML of 150. So within a single transaction, you can perform 150 DML operations. Out of that, we used one. Okay, so now let's go to the contacts tab and refresh the tab. Let's see. Mahesh Babu got created. Okay, so now we understood the difference. What is inserting into database and what is just creation of a variable. Okay, the difference is clear, right? So now let me do an extension for this. If I do like this, for example, account acc equal to new account, okay, then acc dot name equal to Unilever, okay, and acc dot industry. Let me do this to say here industry equal to banking. Fine. So after this, I want to do system.debug and here I want to use ACC. Now what will happen? Now what will happen? Tell me. Both will just display the output. That's it. Because we are not inserting anything. I have removed the insert command. Okay. Just we are displaying the block. And here, if you see here, in DML operations, you see 0 of 150. See 0 of 150 DMLs. Okay. So I am not performing any DML operation. Let me perform the DML operations now. Let me close all these things and let me go back to this. And here, if I do insert ACC, okay, then what will happen? Account will be inserted. And here, if I use insert con, then what will happen? Contact will be inserted. Okay? Okay. Let me change the name to. Okay. So I have given one contact. I have given one account. Okay. So now what I want to do? I want to insert these records. Okay. Let me click on execute. Now let's see what happens. Okay. Now if you see, first of all, go to the debug only. See debug we are seeing properly, and then here if you see all the details here, what we can see here. See DML rows 35. Okay. DML statements 4. Why? Because we have a workflow already written in our system. Whenever a new account is created, a contact should be created automatically. That is the reason the other DMLs are happening. So now let's go to that. What is it? Let's see. Let's go and click on account. And if I click on HDFC with the same name as HDFC, uh, some contact is getting created. Okay. HDFC account got created. Okay, let me go to contacts. And on the contacts, contact also got created. Okay. Some other operations are going on in the back end. Okay. So here we can see that okay, so many things like for all these records, okay, for some flow we are executing, workflow we are executing. Okay. See all this information it is showing. Okay. So now let me do one thing. Let me go to setup. Let's deactivate them because now our focus is this one, right? So let's go to workflow and see if there are any workflows on the account object, and let's deactivate. Workflow, deactivate. This is a position object. Okay? Is there any other workflow? Okay, these are other workflows. Okay. Now let me go to process filter. If I go to process builder, account or inactive. Okay. Create a contact for an account. Inactive. This one launch flow. Okay. Let me deactivate this one. Inside this flow, what I am doing for every account that it gets created, I am launching this flow. Okay, so that is the reason we are getting into that. Okay, let me deactivate this. Okay, now I deactivated it. Now let's go back to setup. Okay, let's go back to setup and click on contacts, and let me delete this contact. Okay, instead of giving new names, okay, let me give new names. Okay. You no need to delete. Okay. You can just give new names. Okay, instead of HDFC, I will go with ICICI. Okay, and name, first name, tell some first name. Okay, so first name, last name, okay, details we have given. Okay, so now try to observe one thing. I am creating an account, I am creating a contact. Okay, and I'm inserting it. So into database, it will go into the database. Okay, clear till this point? So if I click on execute, let's see what happens. Okay, see now workflow account, flow account, all these things. Let's come down. DML statements 3 out of 150. Why 3 are happening? Let's see. These two are fine. Whenever an account is created, contact is created, something else also we are creating. Okay. So first of all, let me go to the account. Okay. Here on the account, I got the ICICI. Okay. This is what I want. I have given banking. Okay. Clear on this part. Let me go to contacts. Suresh Babu, this contact also created. Okay. So now let me go to positions tab once. Let me go to positions tab once. Fine. Today's positions. Okay. Fine. Okay. So now in this code, what I am trying to do, whenever an account account I'm creating, contact also I'm creating. But if I open this ICICI account, under this account I am not getting this contact. Individual I am creating. If I want to link this contact to this particular account, how you will link? How you will link? Normally, if I go to the contacts tab, okay? Normally, if I go to the contacts tab, and if I click on new, and if I give the details, first name, last name, and if I want to link this contact to any one of the existing account, how will I do? I'll just click on this lookup icon, and I can see all the existing accounts. I can link to one of the existing account. In this way, I'm linking, yes or no? I want to do this linking through code. Okay. So now you need to understand what is getting stored behind the scenes. See here, this is what type of field? Text field, first name, last name, text fields. In all the text fields, whatever text we give, that is going to store in the database. But here, for lookup fields, it will show you the name. It will show you the name, but behind the scenes in the database, it will store the ID, Salesforce ID. So when I am creating a new contact record and when I am trying to link this contact with any one of the existing account, when I click on the lookup icon, here even though I can see the name, if I click on the name and if I use this particular one and if I click on save, then what happens? First name, testing one, testing one. Okay, testing one is my record. This is the contact I am creating and I am trying to link this contact to account. Okay, if I click on save, what will happen? Try to understand what is going to happen. Now, if I go to the accounts tab and if I click on ABC, under ABC, I will be able to see this contact testing one. Okay, I'm able to see this contact. Okay, you know that. And here, if you open testing one, and here you are seeing the account name, but behind the scenes, ID will be stored. That is what I told, right? So now, how can I know that ID is getting stored? Okay, if I go to workbench, then if I do the query on this particular, if I do the query on this particular contact record, see what I am saying here, there is a contact record with the first name and last name, testing one. On this record, I am storing the account ID, not name. That is what I am telling. Let me see, let me show you the proof. Let me go to the contact. So now, on which object we need to see? On contact object only, right? On contact object, account name is not getting stored, ID is getting stored. That's what I want to show you. So let me go to contact. Okay, go to contact. Contact. Okay, so this is contact, and on the contact, it will have account ID field. Okay, and on the contact you will have the first name field, you will have the ID field, you will have so many fields. Let's focus on the fields that we are interested in. Okay, so I have chosen these fields. Okay, click on query. Then I can see what is the first name and last name. Testing one, testing one. This is the first name and last name, right? Testing one, testing one. This is my record. Okay, all of you agree? This is my record. First name, last name, testing one, testing one. This is my record. Okay, here account ID is there. ID is there. What is ID? This is the contact ID. Account ID is a account records ID. Okay. If I try to open this record, it will open what? ABC account, because I linked this to ABC account, right? View in Salesforce. It will take me to the ABC account. See, it is taking me to the ABC account. So, through code, if you want to link a record to another record through relationship, what you need to use? ID you need to use. Okay? Is it clear now? So, here in my code, I want to do the same thing. Okay? So, this time I will do Axis Bank. Okay? And Shahrukh. Okay? Now tell me, if I do like this, will this contact gets created under this account, or just a contact and account gets created? Definitely it will be. Now I want to link this contact to this account. Then how can I do? On the contact, what I need to do? On the contact, con dot account ID I need to give. Okay, con dot account ID I need to give. Okay, fine. Here, what ID I need to take is this dot ID. Yes or no? Okay, let me try to contact account as a creator. First, we are creating the account. Once account is getting created, then you will get the account ID. That ID I am referring whenever I am creating a contact. You getting my point? Account I am creating separately, contact I am creating separately. To link this, what I want? I want account ID. So I am using that account ID inside my contact to link. One more account we are not creating. The same account we are referring from contact. If I click on execute, then what will happen? You click on execute, let's see. Let debug, of course, you can see this Axis Bank and Sharka, that details is fine. Account ID, okay, because I am showing the complete record, so all the fields which I am giving, everything will come here. So now if I go to the accounts tab, then if I open the Axis Bank, then automatically under the Axis Bank, I can see the contact record. Okay, we have done this manually, now we have done this through coding. Okay, and here what we need to understand, account itself behaves as a data type, contact itself behaves as a data type. Similarly, position itself behaves as a data type. So every S object, what is the meaning of S object? Salesforce object. It means both standard objects and custom objects together known as S objects. Okay. So every S object itself behaves as a data type. So you can use that data type and create a variable, and for that variable you can have the values and you can store it. If you want to store in database, you will use the insert command. If you don't want to store in database, you will not use the insert command. That's it. Okay. Clear till this point? Okay. So now, what are the different data types we observed? The basic ones like integer, string, long, double. These are the basic ones you observe and you know all those things. Now, little bit advanced one is the S object data type. Okay, till this point everyone is clear, right? So now after this, as a as a programming language which supports OOPS concepts in Apex programming language, even an Apex class can also be considered as a data type. Even an Apex class can also be considered as a data type. So these are the data types that we are going to use in our entire course. So now, till now we have written everything in the anonymous window, but that's enough for now. Let's try to go ahead and create a new Apex class. So if you want to perform a certain logic in Apex, then we need to write an Apex class for that. Okay, so now let me go to Apex class. It is asking me what do you want to name the Apex class. I want to give it as a sample 1. Okay, this is the name I want to give for my Apex class. So then a new Apex class gets created. Public class name. So this is the syntax of creating a Apex class. Public class name. So what is this public? This is that public, private, yeah, access access modifiers. We call them as access modifiers. In other languages, we call them access specifiers. Why we are calling it as an access modifier instead of access specifier? So here you can give public, private, protected, global. So these are the 4 different access modifiers you can give. If you don't give anything, by default Salesforce considers private as a default access. Okay. So now if you are giving public means you are changing from private to public. If you don't give, its meaning is private. So if you are giving public means you are modifying the access, right? So that's why in Salesforce we call them as access modifiers. Whereas in Java or some other languages, you call them as access specifiers. So whatever level you want to specify, you can specify. Whether you want private, public, whatever you want. Here in Salesforce, the default is private. If you give anything, it means you're modifying. So that's why we call them as access modifiers. That is the meaning of this word access modifier. Okay, we can have 4 different types of access modifiers: public, private, global, protected. Next one is class. So this is a keyword which is used to create a new Apex class. Without using this keyword, you cannot create an Apex class, and you cannot assign a new meaning to this word because the meaning of class is already predefined to Salesforce. So this is one of the keyword that is specified by Salesforce. So you need to use that word exactly with the same spelling. Okay, class. Class, what class is doing? Class is nothing but it is a keyword which is used for a specific purpose. Okay, if you want to create an Apex class in Salesforce, you cannot create an Apex class without using the word class. Okay? You have to use the word class. You have to write it in this format. So this is the syntax. This is the rule we need to follow. And here, sample one. This is the name of the class. Here you can give any name that you like. You can write a class as uh, sample or testing or whatever you want. Okay? You can this class is for calculation of 8, 1, 2, 3 numbers like that. Class calculator like that. Okay, you can give any name. This is the name of the class. Okay, name of the class can be anything. Name of the class can be anything. But the structure, whenever you want to write a class, you have to specify the access modifier. You need to specify the word class exactly with the same spelling, and then you need to write your own name that you want to give for an Apex class. After that, you need to open it with a curly braces and close it with a curly braces. So this is the structure of an Apex class. Inside this, what we can write? Inside this, we can write data methods and data members and data methods. This is what we have inside the this is what we have inside the Apex class. Inside Apex class, what we will have? Inside Apex class, we have data members and data methods. Okay. So if I don't want this line to execute, see this is not a See, I just written this for understanding purpose. Okay. So I don't want system to consider this line for execution. So I can comment lines. How to comment in Apex class? Just if you put double slash, then this will not be treated during execution. So now when I click on save, it is able to save. If I remove the comments, then it says that it don't know the meaning of these 2 words and it will throw error. So I am clicking on save, then in which lines it is throwing error. All those errors you can see under problems. So it is saying members, data, methods, all these are unexpected tokens. You could not understand the meaning of it. Okay, so data members and methods. So these are what we are going to create inside Apex class. So what is a data member? It is nothing but variable. Data member is nothing but variable. So integer a equal to 5. If I do this, so that this is nothing but a data member. Okay. So what is data method? It is nothing but a method. Like for example, if I want to write a method like okay, I want to method generally, why we will write a method? We will write a method to perform some business logic. For example, here I have integer a equal to 5, integer b equal to 10. I have these two things. Okay. And integer c I have. Okay. So these are the things I have. For example, these are the three data members I have. So under data methods, I want to do addition. Okay. So my method, how to write a method? Public void method. So here I am using access modifier. This one is the return type and this one is the method name. And here I need to open and close with the parenthesis or small normal brackets. After this I need to open a curly braces. And inside curly braces what I will do? I will write C equal to A plus B. Okay. And then I will write system.debug. Okay, so now let me click on save. Okay, control S I am doing for saving. If I click on save, it is getting saved properly. Okay, so now I used data members also, I used data methods also, and I am able to create an Apex class. Now, how to execute this Apex class? Okay, if you want to execute any Apex class, you have to create an instance for that class. Okay, what is an instance? It is nothing but we are going to create an object for that Apex class. How to create an object? From anonymous window, we will create an object. How to create an object? First write the class name variable equal to new class. So what does this happen? What? Okay, now S is the object of the type class. Okay. Now if I do this, and if I want to execute a specific method, then what I need to do? S dot method one. Okay. If I do this, if I click on execute, what will happen? Let's see. See, the addition of A and B gives C equal to 50. Okay. So now this is how we will write an Apex class, and this is how we will execute an Apex class. Okay. You may ask me a question like, sir, for every Apex class, are we going to execute in the same way? No. So this is the basic level where I want you to understand how an Apex class works. Okay? For that purpose, we are executing it from the anonymous window. In a real situation, what we will do, either we will use a button. If you click that button, this Apex class will execute. You will use a visual force. Inside visual force, you will put some button or some link. If you click on that, this should execute, or in lightning component you will put something, and if you click on that, this Apex class should execute, or if you write a trigger, and a trigger will be executed automatically, and from the trigger you can call an Apex class. And if you want to write a process builder, that process builder will execute automatically, and from that process builder you can call this Apex class. If you want to write, you can write a flow, and from the flow you can call an Apex class. So basically what we are doing, we are writing a program, a Apex class. What is Apex class? Apex class is nothing but a program which cannot execute on its own. Either you have to create an object for it, okay, or you have to invoke it explicitly from somewhere, okay, okay. So that invoking from explicit ways that we will do later. Now, for every class that we write, if you want to execute the Apex class, what we need to do? We need to create an object for that class. Okay. So, why we need to create an object? Without creating object, can we call an Apex class? Yes, there are two types. We can consider Apex classes in two types. One type are instance classes or instance methods. For these type of Apex classes and methods, you have to create an object. If you write a static method, then you no need to call that apex class by creating an object. Without creating object also, you can call it apex class. Okay? Make a note. Make a note. Uh, ఫ్రెండ్స్ పెట్టి సరిపోతాయి ఈ బ్యాగ్ కూడా పెట్టుకుంటే పెట్టుకోలేదు ఇట్లా ఇది కావాలంటే ఇది అది పెట్టిన ఈ రెండు పెట్టిన తర్వాత ఇక నువ్వు ఇక్కడ ఏం రాసినా దానికి అనవసరం ఈ లాస్ట్ లో ఉన్నా లేకపోయినా ఒకటే లాస్ట్ లో ఉన్నా లేకపోయినా ఒకటే ఎక్కడే రాసుకో సిస్టమ్ డాట్ టేబుల్ యూ కెన్ రైట్ ఎనీవేర్ వేర్ ఎవర్ యూ వాంట్ యూ కెన్ రైట్ సిస్టమ్ డాట్ టేబుల్ order it will execute in this order line by line it will execute. Okay, here I have only one method. Okay, and I want to execute this method. If I have two methods, first continue this, then I will explain how. If there are two methods, how we can control the order, I will tell you. Okay, after writing the apex class, I opened anonymous window, and inside anonymous window, for this apex class, this is the name of the class, and for this class, I have created an object. Okay, object name can be anything. You can put anything. Okay, and like how we created account A equal to new account. Similarly, here what I am doing, class object equal to new class object dot method 1 object dot method 2. All these methods I need to call by using object dot method. Okay, here the object I created is s, so that dot method 1. Now what will happen, this method 1 will be called and it will be executed. And why I have written void here, from where I am calling this method, if I want to pass back the information from where, see I am calling this method from here. Okay, from here I am calling this method. Okay, if I want to pass some information back to this method, then I need to use some other data types instead of void, like integer, string, whatever I want to pass, I can pass. But for now, I am not passing back any information. What I am doing, I am just coming to this method, I am executing whatever it is present here, done, that's it. I am just stopping it there. If that is the case, you will go like this. So many scenarios are there. First, let's go one by one. First, to take this, right now, put the heading apex class. Apex class. An apex class is a template. An apex class is a template or blueprint from which apex objects are created. మనం చేసాను ఆబ్జెక్ట్ చెప్తాను కంగారు పడతాను నాకు అర్థం మీకు అర్థం కాలేదు అదే ఆబ్జెక్ట్ మనం ఇచ్చాము ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ అంటే ఏమనుకుంటున్నావు? విజువల్ ఎలా కనబడుతుంది ఆబ్జెక్ట్? అది చెప్పాలంటే ఎలా కనబడాలి? ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ఎలా కనబడుతుంది? ఫోన్ నువ్వు చూడాలనుకున్నావు ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ని, ఎలా ఉంటుంది తెలుసా ఆబ్జెక్ట్ నీకు? ఆ, అదే. ఆ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ వేరు, ఈ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ వేరు. అది ఎస్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్, ఇది ఆబ్జెక్ట్. ఎస్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ అంటే టేబుల్. అందుకే నేను ఆబ్జెక్ట్ అంటే టేబుల్ అవన్నీ అన్ని సార్లు చెప్పింది అందుకే. ఇక్కడి నుంచి మనం ఆబ్జెక్ట్ మీనింగ్ మారిపోతుంది. ఇక్కడి నుంచి ఆబ్జెక్ట్ అంటే మీనింగ్ మారిపోతుంది. ఇక్కడి నుంచి ఆబ్జెక్ట్ అంటే ఎస్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ కాదు. అందుకే అందుకే చెప్తా, మళ్ళీ చెప్తా, రిపీట్ చేస్తా. Okay, I will repeat it, no worries. First make a note of that definition. Okay, then we can discuss again. Here, when I am saying object in an Apex class object is different from Salesforce object. That is the reason I am specifically saying that S object instead of object. See, few years back, so many years back actually, you have only black and white photographs. There is no color photo concept. At that time, people never used to call it as a black and white photograph. They just used to call it as a photograph. When when the new thing came, color photograph came, then people started calling the old one as black and white and the new one as color. Similarly, if till this point of time I introduced you to only object, okay? Object means table, that is Salesforce object. So all this time I'm just calling it as an object. From now on, in coding we will have object, in Salesforce we will have object. The coding object is different, Salesforce object is different. So that's why we call the Salesforce object as S object. Position, account, contact, opportunity, candidates, students, course, all these are what? S objects. Nothing but tables. Okay. Whereas the object that I am creating for a class, okay, this is completely different from that. We will discuss in depth about this. Just I am giving the definition. There is a lot more to discuss. After that, you will understand. Okay. First, make a note of this. What is the meaning of class? A class is a template or blueprint from which Apex objects are created. I know in the initial days it will be confusing, it will be difficult, but gradually you will pick up the speed. Write this complete thing. Later I will explain. Write the complete 2 lines. Try to read and understand whatever you understand it. I will explain in detail. Okay.
పెడతారు అడుగుదాం సర్కిల్ ఎవరికన్నా చెప్తాం అదే అదే ఇట్లా ఎమర్జెన్సీ అడిగి చూస్తాం ఇప్పుడు సేల్స్ ఎవరితో మాట్లాడాలి కాల్స్తో మాట్లాడాలా డైరెక్ట్ ఈమెయిల్ డైరెక్ట్ మెసేజ్ కాల్
అప్పుడే డౌట్ అంటే ఇంకా ఉంది ఇంకా చాలా ఉంది సార్ డౌట్స్ వస్తాయి కదా సార్ డౌట్ వస్తూనే కదా కానీ నేను ఇంకా పూర్తిగా చెప్పలేదు జస్ట్ రిపీట్ చేయాలి ఇంకా చాలా ఉంది ఇంకా అయినాక
ఫస్ట్ అపెక్స్ లో కూడా అందులో సేవ్ చేస్తేనే ఇక్కడ మెథడ్ కాల్ చేసినప్పుడు రన్ అయ్యేది.
సేవ్ చేయాలి
సేవ్ చేయాలి.
సేవ్ అవ్వలేదు అనుకోండి స్టార్ మార్క్ వస్తుంది అబ్జర్వ్ చేయండి మళ్ళీ చూపిస్తాను మళ్ళీ రాస్తాం ఏదైతే రాస్తామో మళ్ళీ ఫ్రెష్గా రాస్తాం ఓకే స్టార్కే అర్థం అవుతుంది నాకు కూడా తెలుసు నేను కూడా అలాగే వచ్చింది మళ్ళీ టెక్నికల్ ఫాస్ట్గా ఏదైతే అది సాల్వ్ మళ్ళీ ఫస్ట్ ఫస్ట్ ఈ రెండు లైన్ రాసుకున్నా రాసుకో రిలాక్స్ అది నా డ్యూటీ కాదు ఎవరు చెప్తారు ఎందుకు చెప్పాలి
అవును ఇప్పుడు ఉంది కాబట్టి ఉన్నాం మేము మనకి ఏం లేదు ఇప్పుడు నువ్వు తొందరగా పెడుతున్నావు సార్
సరే సరే స్పీడ్ కొట్టగలం స్లో కొట్టగలం సిచ్యువేషన్ తగ్గట్టు చేద్దాం కంగారు ఏం కంగారు లేదు ఓకే ఫైన్ గైస్ ఫస్ట్ I repeat again, no worries if you don't understand, okay? We need to understand different concepts like what is a class, what is a object, okay? Whenever I say a subject, it means table. I gave complete clarity and so many times on that. So now I am explaining about object which is relevant to apex. Now don't compare this one with that one, okay? That one is different, this one is different, okay? So now don't ask that question again here, okay? I am focusing on the apex objects now, and this has no relation, no connection with the S object that we discussed there in the admin, okay? And the data types also. There in the admin, whenever you are creating a new field, we are choosing the data type, but that is not the actual data type, okay? So even though we are displaying it as a phone, even though we are displaying it as an email, behind the scenes it is text only, okay? Okay, so that point also I already clarified. Now our focus is we need to understand the OOPS concepts clearly. What is OOPS? Object Oriented Programming Language, okay? So what is this object oriented programming language means there are two ways in which you can achieve something. That is, one thing is you will put strict rules and these rules will not change for anyone, and when someone enters into this room, they have to follow all these rules. That is one way of achieving things. Second way is, once you come and sit in this room, I will take information from all of you. So and based on majority of people what they are liking, okay, based on that I can frame the rules, okay? If that is there in your college, okay, if you have two colleges, college A, college B, if college A is putting strict rules like this is the rule everyone need to follow, whether you are coming from city, whether you are coming from village, whether you are coming from rich background, whether you are coming from poor background, it doesn't matter for us, okay? We have these rules and everyone need to follow that, okay? That is college A. College B is there, what they are saying, based on the current situations, based on the current environment, that we are saying here. Based on that, they are taking the feedback like what kind of rules you want and what kind of rules you don't want. They have taken some feedback and gathered the information. Based on that, if they frame some rules, then which college do you prefer to join? The second college. Because here we are giving importance to the data. Structure is not important for us, data is important. So, the other programming languages, like if you go with the mainframes, it is a procedural language. Okay? Wherein the procedure is important, data should fit into that procedure. Whereas object-oriented programming languages give more importance to the object. Object is nothing but data here. Okay. So based on the data, we will formulate the structure. Okay, and we will give all the other logics and everything based on that we will do. Okay, so that is object-oriented program and how it is different from the other structural languages. C language is a structural language, and mainframes is a very old one. That one is a procedural language. When you compare that with this any kind of object-oriented programming language, it gives you more flexibility to implement the complex business logics. Okay, so that's why when compared to mainframe, C is better. When compared to C, C++ is better. When compared to C++, Java is better. When compared to all these things, Salesforce is better. Why? Because in Java, even though you have the ability to use all the OOPS concepts, database is not present inside Java. Database is somewhere outside. Okay. Front end is somewhere outside. You need to establish an integrated integration. You need to establish a connection to that and get the data and display here. Okay. So Java is only a backend programming language. But here, Salesforce Apex, even though it is a backend programming language, it gives us the direct access to the front end variables, it gives us the direct access to the database. So that is how it gives us the flexibility to implement any complex business scenario with few lines of code. Okay? So now you have written the definition of Apex class. An Apex class is a template or blueprint from which Apex objects are created. Okay? So you need to understand this. If someone asks you what is a class, the answer is a class is a blueprint of object. That is the answer. What is object? Object is an instance of a class. If someone asks you what is object, your answer is object is an instance of a class. And someone asks you what is class? Class is nothing but a blueprint of the object. Okay, so the definitions are interlinked. So you need to understand it carefully. Let's consider. So even though I know that I am taking time, this is crucial to understand. That's why I want to give multiple examples and make it clear on this part. Let's consider this is a classroom and you all are studying 5th class. Imagine you are studying 5th class. Okay? Imagine you all are 5th class students and this is a classroom. Okay? Now, individually, if I go and ask you, which class are you studying? You will say 5th class. If I go to ask you, if I go and ask you, you will say 5th class. You will say 5th class. All of you will say 5th class. But what I am saying is, this room we call it as 5th class. If I change the board from 5th to 6th, then what will happen? This room will become 6th class. Yes or no? If I change the entrance, in the entrance there is a board, 5th class room. This is just a room until you put the board. Until you put the board, it is just a room. Okay. If I change the board from 5th to 6th, for example, but all of you are 5th class students, then will I call it as a 5th class or 6th class class? So the point here is each of you will have individual characteristics. You are a girl from a different city. She is a girl from a different town. Okay. You are a boy from a different city. You have a different background, but a common thing for all of you is all of you are fifth class students. Because all fifth class students are sitting in one room, we call this room as fifth class room.
Yes, yes.
So the meaning for the classroom is coming because of the students. Okay? If I use the same room, if I use the same room to teach 10th class students, for example, if all the students are 10th class students, then I call this classroom as a 10th class classroom. Yes or no? So here, each one of you is an object. Object will have the properties. As an individual, you are a girl, he is a boy. As an individual, okay? You have different properties. You have spectacles, you don't have different properties. Individuals will have different properties, but there is some common property which is putting all of you together. Yes or no? There is some common property which is putting all of you together. That is, you all are fifth class students. This common property which is present in all of you, okay, that I am calling it as a class. So,
Yeah,
what is it? What is fifth class if I ask? It is just a room with four walls. It will become fifth class when fifth class students sit in it. If fifth class students don't sit in it, then it is just a room. Try to understand again. Class will not have any physical memory in the, it will not take any physical memory space. Only object will take the memory space. Okay. So imagine this is a room. Okay. This room is empty. If fifth class students occupy this room, then only it is filled. Then only space is required. Okay. So if 10 fifth class students sit together, then it will become fifth class classroom. So the meaning to the class comes through the object. Object is nothing but students. Right? In a physical classroom, it is student class. Here it is class object. So what is a class? Class is a blueprint or structure of objects. Okay. What is an object? Object is an instance of a class. Now is it clear? What is a class? What is an object? Class is a blueprint of an object. Okay. It is just a structure. If I say fifth class, I mean this room is allocated for students, fifth class students. But if sixth class students sit in this room, then I have to call this a sixth class classroom only. The class varies based on the objects present in it. Okay? The common property of all the objects is nothing but class. So if you consider one object, if I call you, I will consider you as one of the fifth class student. So you, what are you? You are an object of the class. Okay? You are an instance. You are a one sample of that class. Yes or no? Like if you combine all the samples, that is nothing but class. So class will not have any memory or physical storage. Only objects have the physical storage. So here what I have done. Here, first of all, I have created an Apex class. Okay. So this will not need any memory storage. Okay. Just this text information, like one file, it will be stored with few KB or MB. Very small amount of size is needed. Just this will be stored. But this will not execute until unless there is an object created for it. This is like fifth class. A student in fifth class sits in it, and only we can call it as fifth class. Otherwise, what happens? This is just a room. Similarly, here I have created a class with the name sample one. Inside that class, what another definition of class is combination of data members and data methods is called as class. This is second definition of class. What does the class contain? It contains data members and data methods. What is data member? Nothing but a variable. You know how to create a variable. Next, what is a method? Method is the place where you write the actual logic or the business functionality. Here, my logic is to add two numbers. Of course, we can do complex logics in future, but now let's take a very basic logic. My logic is to add two numbers and store the answer in C. This will execute only when I create an object. Okay. So here, what I am doing, I am giving the values 5 and 10 already here, and I am just creating an object. Okay. So every time I execute, I will get the same answer. But instead of here, I am giving the value, instead of giving values here, I can just create like this, and I can pass the values from here like integer, comma, integer. Then here, from here I can pass 5, comma 10. Then what happens if I execute this? First I need to save this. Integer, comma, integer. Okay. So now if I pass this parameter through the method, then for 5, comma 10, I will get a different answer, and for 10, comma 20, I will get a different answer. Okay. So whenever I create two different objects, you getting my point? If I create two different objects, then what will happen? Two different results will come. Let me execute this. Okay. What is a class? What is an object? Is I know it will be little bit confusing in the beginning stages. Gradually, we will do so many examples, and then you'll come to know. Okay. So now you have written the definition of class, right? Under that, write one more point. A class is a combination of data members and data methods. A class is a combination of data members and data methods. So these are the two definitions that we need to specify when someone asks you what is an FX class or just class. Okay. After this, you write a side heading. After writing class second point, put the side heading as object. Put the side heading as object. Object is an instance of a class. Object is, put the side heading object and write down object is an instance of a class. Put the side heading object and write down object is an instance of a class. Okay. So now write down this apex class and write down this object details. Okay. So now in the similar way, I want you to write at least 10 apex classes. Or if you don't know, write the same thing 10 times, understand it, then you will be able to write it on your own. Okay? The coding by
మన బోర్డింగ్ లాంగ్వేజ్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ క్రియేట్ అయితే సబ్జెక్ట్ లేదు
చెప్పాను కదా ఇప్పుడు ఏ ప్లస్ బి కలపడానికి అలా ఏదైనా కాంప్లెక్స్ బిజినెస్ లాజిక్ ని అచీవ్ చేయడానికి
ఇంతకుముందేమో ఇలా మనం మోడల్ క్రియేట్ చేసాం అట్లా ఎఫెక్ట్స్ ఏమైనా ఉందా ఇంతకుముందు నేమ్స్ మీద రికార్డ్స్ క్రియేట్ చేసాం కదా అకౌంట్ ఇలా ఎఫెక్ట్స్ ఉంటే ఏం చేయాలి
చేస్తాం క్యాల్కులేషన్ చేసి లాస్ట్లో ఇన్సర్ట్ అంటే రికార్డ్ చేసేస్తాం అప్డేట్ అంటే అప్డేట్ చెప్తా చెప్తా రేపు మళ్ళీ ఇదే చెప్తా ఇప్పుడు ఓన్లీ స్ట్రక్చర్ నల్లగా చెయ్యి కొంచెం ఒక్కరోజే అర్థం అవుతుంది నాకు కూడా తెలుసు రేపు మళ్ళీ ఇదే చెప్తా అక్కడ వాయిల్ ఎందుకు వాడాను ఇంకోటి వాడచ్చు కదా రెండు మూడు చెప్తాను ఆధారపడాలి వాయిదా ఎందుకు వాడాలి లేదా కూడా వాడచ్చు అని ఒకేసారి చెప్పేసి కన్ఫ్యూజ్ అయిపోతారు అందుకని అంతవరకు ఇదే 4 సార్లు రాయండి చేయని అలాగని రేపు చిన్న చిన్న మార్పులు చేసి మళ్ళీ చేస్తాం సేమ్ థింగ్ ఇది బేసిక్స్ ఎలా ఉంటుందంటే ఈజీనే కానీ ఇది స్ట్రాంగ్ లేకపోతే ముందు ముందుకి కాంప్లికేట్ అయిపోతుంది అంటే స్టార్టింగ్లో మీకు ఆబ్జెక్ట్ అంటే టేబుల్ అని 10 సార్లు చెప్తుంటే చెప్పింది ఎన్నిసార్లు చెప్తారు మాకు తెలుసు కదా అని మీకు అనిపించింది కదా ఇప్పుడు ఆబ్జెక్ట్ అంటున్నాను వేరే మీనింగ్ అంటున్నా అప్పుడు అంత రిజిస్టర్ చేయబట్టి ఇప్పుడు మీరు తట్టుకోగలరు లేదనుకో అది ఇది కన్ఫ్యూజ్ అయ్యి మొత్తం పులిహార అయిపోతుంది లోపల ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ నువ్వు ఏ ప్లస్ బి చేయాలనుకుంటున్నావు ఏ వాల్యూ బి వాల్యూ ముందు ఇవ్వకుండా ముందు ఏ ప్లస్ బి చేసేసి తర్వాత ఏ వాల్యూ ఇస్తానంటే కుదురుతా అందుకు పైన రాయాలి కింద రాయాలి నువ్వు నేను ఏ ప్లస్ బి చేయమన్నా నువ్వు ఏమడుగుతావు ఫస్ట్ ఏ వాల్యూ బి వాల్యూ ఇవ్వండి అప్పుడు ఏ ప్లస్ బి చేస్తా అంటావు లేదు ముందు ఏ ప్లస్ బి చేస్తాను మీరు తర్వాత ఇవ్వండి వాల్యూ ఓకే పర్లేదు అంటావా పైన రాయాలి కింద రాయాలి అదేనా సింపుల్ లాజిక్ నువ్వు ఏ ప్లస్ బి చేయాలంటే నీకు ముందు ఏ ప్లస్ బి వాల్యూస్ ఇస్తే ఏ ప్లస్ బి చేస్తావు ఆల్రెడీ నువ్వు ఏ ప్లస్ బి చేసేస్తున్నా వాల్యూ ఇస్తే ఎందుకు చేయకపోతే చేస్తావు కింద అంటే ఎక్కడ అవసరమో దాని ముందు రాయాలి అది ఎక్కడ నువ్వు ఏ ప్లస్ బి చేస్తున్నావో దాని ముందు రాయాలి ఇది అర్థమైన పాయింట్ చెప్పింది ఇప్పుడు ఇదే నేను ఈ ఏబీలు ఈ మెథడ్ బయట రాశాను కాబట్టి ఇక్కడ నేను ఇంకొక మెథడ్ పెడితే అందులో కూడా ఏబీలు వాడుకోగలుగుతాను అది వేరియబుల్ స్కోప్ చూస్తాం అన్ని డీటెయిల్ వెళ్తాం కంగారు పడదు ఇదే నేను ఏబీలు ఏ ప్లస్ బి ఈ లైన్ లో వాడే లైన్ నెంబర్ 8 ఇప్పుడు లైన్ నెంబర్ 7 పక్కన ఎంటర్ కొట్టి ఎక్కడే ఏ ఇచ్చి ఎక్కడే బి ఇచ్చి అప్పుడు ఏ సి కూడా ఏ ప్లస్ బి చేయొచ్చు కదా అలా కూడా చేయొచ్చు కదా అలా చేస్తే ఏమవుతుంది ఈ ఏబి వాల్యూస్ విత్ ఇన్ దిస్ బ్రాకెట్ పనిచేస్తాయి ఈ మెథడ్కే పనిచేస్తాయి ఈ కింద నేను ఆ ఏబిని వాడుకోలేను సో మనం అన్నిటి దగ్గర వాడుకునే విధంగా ఉండడం కోసం పైన రాస్తాం అది అక్కడ రాయడానికి రీజన్ ప్రతి దానికి రీజన్ ఉంటుంది ఏది బ్లైండ్ గా చేయమ్మా సో ఇప్పుడు నేను ఒక మెథడే చెప్పాను అందుకే 2 మెథడ్లు రేపు చెప్తాను కంగారు పడద్దు ఫస్ట్ ఒక మెథడ్ అవనియండి ఇది 10 సార్లు రాయండి 10 సార్లు చదవండి ఇందులో ప్రతి వర్డ్ ఓకే రేపు రెండో మెథడ్ పెడదాం రెండో మెథడ్ పెట్టినప్పుడు లోపల రాద్దాం బయట రాద్దాం కింద రాద్దాం పక్కన రాద్దాం అన్ని చేద్దాం అది కూడా రాసి చూపిస్తా తీసి పైన పెడితే ఏమవుతుంది ఎర్ర వచ్చింది ఆ ఎర్ర ఎందుకు వచ్చింది అది కూడా చెప్తా నేను ఏమంటే ఫస్ట్ అన్ని వెళ్తే నువ్వు ఎప్పటికీ చేరలేవు ఫస్ట్ స్ట్రైట్ రోడ్ తెలియాలి నీకు ఇక్కడ నుంచి అక్కడికి వెళ్ళాలి ఆ తర్వాత అటు కావాలని వెతుకుతాం ఫస్ట్ అవన్నీ చూస్తే కన్ఫ్యూజ్ అయిపోతాం సింపుల్ గా వెళ్ళడం ఎలా తెలియాలి ఇది సింపుల్ గా స్ట్రైట్ ఫార్వర్డ్ వెళ్దాం తర్వాత అన్ని చూద్దాం Sir, here S is called variable or object in instance of class. S is the name of my object. Okay. Here instead of S, I can put obj object. Okay. The problem is okay. Here S is the name of my object. Here instead of S, I can write obj object. But if I write obj, then I have seen people remembering this obj and for everything they are using obj only. So that's why I have changed it to S. Okay. This here you can write anything. Here you can write anything. Okay. This is the name of my object. Okay. I can create one object. I can create one more object. If I want to create, I can create one more object with S2. And create one more object. Okay. Like this, I can create any number of objects for a similar for a same class. I can create a number of objects. Getting my point?
రైట్ బా.
Okay. నాలుగండి చెయ్యి కొంచెం కలిపితే కలగకుండా ఫ్రెష్గా ఉండాలంటే నలిగిపోవాలి. అన్నీ నలగాలి. చెయ్యి నలగాలి, మైలు నలగాలి, ఒళ్ళు నలగాలి, అన్నీ నలగాలి. నిద్రలో లేపు అడిగినా సింటాక్స్ అడిగితే నా పబ్లిక్ క్లాస్ అని చెప్పాలి. ఆ బ్రాకెట్ ఉంటుంది పక్కన. ఎందుకంటే చూడడానికి 4 లైన్లు కోడ్. ఒకసారి ట్రై చేయండి. ఇప్పుడే మీరు చూసి రాశారు కదా, ఆల్రెడీ చూసి రాశారు కదా. కళ్ళు మూసుకొని చూడకుండా ఇవే 4 లైన్లు రాసి చూపించండి. అందులో 10 తప్పులు దొరుకుతాయి. అవునా కదా? చూసినప్పుడు ఏముందో బ్రాకెట్ నేను ఎందుకు మర్చిపోతాను, నాకు తెలుసు కదా అన్నట్టు దానికి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు ఆ బ్రాకెట్ చూసుకురాదు అంతే. అందుకే 10 సార్లు రాయమనేది. కాకపోతే నేను సిలబస్ ఇంకా ఫాస్ట్గా చెప్పుకోవచ్చు. ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయాలని స్లో చేయాలని టైం ఇస్తున్నాను. మీరు ఇంటికి నిద్రపోతే కుదరదు, ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయాలి. నాకు నిద్ర వస్తుంది ఇస్తే ఏదో చదవదామండి ఒక యోగి కథ ఏదో లైఫ్ స్టోరీ ఆఫ్ యోగి.
ఒక్కొక్కటి అంటే ప్లేసెస్కి వెళ్ళి అవునా మరి మంత్రాలంటే అన్నీ మన చదువుతారు ఈ
practice. We'll meet. Okay, one important information is there is no class tomorrow. Institute is not supporting me to put class tomorrow because there is no admin office also tomorrow. Nobody is there to conduct online also. So tomorrow there is no class, complete holiday. Day after tomorrow we can have class. Okay. Put this in group also. Okay. Because some people left already. So put this in the group that tomorrow there is no class. No online, no